What if the food sitting in your refrigerator right now is the foods labeled healthy, natural, yeah, or even doctor recommended? We're secretly slowing your metabolism, increasing belly fat, damaging your liver, and making you tired every single day. And the worst part? Millions of people eat these foods every day thinking they are helping their health, while their metabolism quietly gets weaker and weaker. If you've been struggling with stubborn belly fat, low energy, sugar cravings, brain fog, or weight gain after 40 or 50, this video may completely change the way you look at food forever. Because today, we're exposing 7 healthy foods that are silently destroying your metabolism, according to modern metabolic science. And number 6 is hiding in almost every gym and fitness store in America. Let's begin. Food. Number 1, fruit juice. The first food may shock you: 100% fruit juice. Orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, even the expensive cold pressed juices. Most people think fruit juice is healthy because it comes from fruit. But here's the problem: when manufacturers make juice, they remove the fiber, the very thing that protects your metabolism from sugar overload. Without fiber, your body absorbs the sugar incredibly fast. And most fruit juice is loaded with fructose. Now, fructose is different from glucose. Almost every cell in your body can use glucose for energy. But fructose? That can only be processed mainly by the liver. So, when you drink large amounts of fruit juice, you are forcing your liver to handle a massive sugar load all at once. And over time, that can lead to fatty liver, insulin resistance, belly fat, and metabolic dysfunction. One glass of orange juice can contain over 20 grams of sugar. That's dangerously close to many sodas. In fact, some metabolic researchers now compare fruit juice to liquid candy because of how rapidly it spikes liver fat production. And here's what's scary: liquid calories don't satisfy hunger the same way whole foods do. So you drink the calories, Mike, but your brain still wants more food afterward. That's why people often feel hungry again shortly after drinking juice. Instead of juice, eat whole fruit. Whole fruit contains fiber, water, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that slow sugar absorption naturally. An orange is healthy. Orange juice is basically concentrated sugar delivery. Big difference. Food number 2, seed oils. Now let's talk about one of the most controversial foods in modern nutrition: seed oils, corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil. For decades, people were told these oils were heart healthy. But many metabolic scientists are now raising serious concerns about how these oils are processed. See, these oils are not squeezed naturally like olive oil. They go through intense industrial processing involving high heat, chemical solvents, bleaching, refining, and deodorizing. And because these oils are extremely delicate, the high heat damages their structure. That creates harmful compounds called aldehydes. These compounds are linked to inflammation, oxidative stress, and cellular damage. Now, here's why this matters for metabolism. Your cells rely on healthy membranes to respond properly to hormones like insulin. But when damaged fats become incorporated into those membranes, insulin signaling may become weaker. And weak insulin signaling means higher blood sugar, more fat storage, and lower energy production. That's one reason insulin resistance has exploded worldwide. And these oils are everywhere: salad dressings, fast food, restaurant cooking oils, packaged snacks, protein bars, frozen meals. Most people consume them daily without even realizing it. The problem becomes even worse when these oils are repeatedly heated and reheated in deep fryers. That creates even more oxidative compounds. Now compare that to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or butter from grass-fed animals. These fats are more stable and contain beneficial compounds that support cellular health instead of damaging it. Sometimes the healthy oil isn't healthy at all. Food number 3, oat milk. Now, before the internet gets angry, let's talk about oat milk. Oat milk exploded in popularity because people wanted dairy-free alternatives, and many coffee shops market it as a healthier option. But metabolically, oat milk can be a disaster. Why? Because oats are mostly starch, and starch breaks down into glucose. In other words, Many oat milks are essentially liquid carbohydrates. Some brands spike blood sugar almost as aggressively as soda, especially the sweetened versions. Here's what happens metabolically. You drink oat milk in your morning coffee. Blood sugar spikes rapidly. Insulin rises. A few hours later, blood sugar crashes. Then cravings begin. Suddenly you want snacks, sugar, chips, bread, cookies. And this cycle repeats all day long. Many people blame themselves for lacking discipline, when in reality their breakfast triggered a blood sugar roller coaster. Some commercial oat milks also contain seed oils and added sugars, creating a double metabolic hit. Now, this doesn't mean everyone must drink dairy, but if you want a better alternative, unsweetened coconut milk or unsweetened macadamia milk are usually far lower in sugar and starch. Always read the label. If your healthy milk contains gums, oils, syrups, and added sugars, it's not really healthy food anymore. Food number 4, agave nectar. Next is one of the biggest scams in the health food industry, agave nectar. It sounds healthy because it comes from a plant, and many people use it instead of sugar. But here's the shocking truth. Agave nectar can contain up to 90% fructose. That's even higher than high fructose corn syrup. Remember what we said earlier? Fructose overload stresses the liver, and when the liver becomes overwhelmed, it starts converting excess fructose into fat. That fat accumulates around the organs, creating visceral fat, the dangerous belly fat linked to diabetes, heart disease, and inflammation. Now, here's why agave tricks people. It has a relatively low glycemic index, so marketers claim it's blood sugar friendly. But the glycemic index mainly measures glucose response, not liver stress, not fat production, not metabolic dysfunction. So people assume agave is healthy while quietly damaging their metabolism. Natural does not always mean harmless. Poison ivy is natural too. The body cares more about chemistry than marketing. Food number 5, kombucha. Now let's talk about kombucha. Years ago, traditional kombucha was genuinely low in sugar because the fermentation process allowed beneficial microbes to consume most of the sugar. But modern commercial kombucha, that's a different story. Many brands now contain massive amounts of sugar, sometimes 12, 15, even 20 grams per bottle. That's because companies shorten fermentation time to produce products faster. The microbes don't fully consume the sugar anymore, and then manufacturers often add fruit juices or sweeteners to improve taste. So instead of drinking a fermented health beverage, you may actually be drinking sugary soda disguised as wellness. And sugar feeds the exact things many people are trying to avoid: inflammation, candida overgrowth, blood sugar instability, belly fat. Always read labels carefully. Some kombucha brands are relatively low sugar. Others are basically dessert in a bottle. And remember, organic does not automatically mean metabolically healthy. Food number 6, protein powders. This next one is huge: protein powders. Now, protein itself is incredibly important, especially as we age. Protein supports muscle mass, metabolism, hormones, and healthy aging. But many commercial protein powders are loaded with junk. One of the worst ingredients is maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is a highly processed starch filler, and metabolically, it behaves almost like pure glucose. In fact, it can spike blood sugar faster than table sugar itself. That means your fitness shake could actually be triggering massive insulin spikes. And many protein powders also contain artificial sweeteners, cheap oils, thickeners, fillers, synthetic flavors. Some are closer to milkshakes than health foods. This is especially dangerous for older adults trying to lose weight because insulin is a fat storage hormone. If insulin stays elevated constantly, the body becomes resistant to fat burning. That's why some people work out hard, drink protein shakes daily, and still struggle with belly fat. Real protein is usually better: eggs, fish, beef, chicken, Greek yogurt. Whole foods provide amino acids without the hidden metabolic damage. If you do buy protein powder, choose one with minimal ingredients and no maltodextrin. Simple is better. Food number 7, industrial starches. And finally, the hidden metabolic destroyer almost nobody talks about: industrial starches. These are found in ultra-processed foods under names like modified cornstarch, modified food starch, tapioca starch, maltodextrin, potato starch. These starches are heavily refined and chemically altered to improve texture, shelf life, or taste. But metabolically, they act like rapid sugar bombs. And because they're not sweet, people consume enormous amounts without realizing it. These starches are hidden inside protein bars, sauces, soups, frozen meals, snack foods, healthy cereals, low fat products. Some people consume hundreds of pounds of processed starches every year. And unlike whole foods, these refined starches digest extremely fast. That means rapid glucose spikes, high insulin, more fat storage, more cravings, more inflammation, and eventually, metabolic burnout. Your metabolism was never designed to handle ultra refined industrial food chemicals. The human body evolved from eating real food, not modified starch powders created in factories. The real reason your metabolism feels broken. Now, here's the important part your metabolism isn't lazy, your body isn't trying to sabotage you. Your cells are adapting to constant metabolic stress. When insulin stays high, when blood sugar keeps spiking, when the liver becomes overloaded, when inflammation rises, the body shifts into survival mode. Energy production slows, fat burning weakens, cravings increase, and the body becomes incredibly efficient at storing fat. That's why many people feel exhausted while simultaneously gaining weight. The calories exist, but the cells can't access energy properly. That's metabolic dysfunction. And unfortunately, modern processed foods are designed to create this exact cycle. What to eat instead? Now, after hearing all this, you might be wondering, what can I eat? Good news. The healthiest foods are usually the simplest foods, real food. Foods your great grandparents would recognize instantly. Things like eggs, fish, grass fed meat, avocados, olive oil, nuts, vegetables, berries, fermented foods, plain Greek yogurt. These foods stabilize blood sugar, support hormones, reduce inflammation, and nourish the mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside your cells. And when mitochondria function properly, energy rises, fat burning improves, brain fog decreases, cravings calm down, your body begins working with you instead of against you. The food industry spends billions convincing people that processed foods are healthy, but your metabolism doesn't care about labels. It responds to chemistry. So the next time you see the words natural, heart healthy, organic, low fat, plant based, flip the package over, read the ingredients, because some of the most dangerous foods in modern society are hiding behind healthy marketing. And if this video opened your eyes, subscribe right now, because the next video may literally save your metabolism and possibly your life.